these piece of Democrat. All right, everybody, welcome to the How to Sell Insurance podcast. My name is Ryan Federico. I am joined by two of the most gentlemanly of gentlemen, Mr. Grant Lieber, Mr. Ashton Delango Lunday. We're coming back to you with some fresh topics. Today, we're talking about a topic that's very near and dear to my heart after going through a tumultuous political and election season in our country. Brand awareness and how to make yourself attractive in the public sphere for both your clients and if you're building an agency, how to make yourself attractive to agents to come onto your team. You don't really realize that we're in a digital world. We're in a digital age. Your clients are looking you up when you set an appointment with them and you say, hey, I've got a license and I've been background checked by the state, and they're doing a search on your name. They're looking for the company that you said you're from. And if they're not finding anything, if they're not coming up with a LinkedIn page even, or a social media page, well, you could probably have some problems. We want to share some tips and tricks and things, some tools and resources that have worked for us to brand ourselves individually, that are amazing landing places for clients to look you up on and feel comfortable working with you and get some credibility going. And hopefully at the end of this episode, you guys will have a playbook that you can take and start building those sites for yourself and be better for it. So I want to just kind of throw it to Grant and then to Ashton, asking, what have you done purposefully? Like, how did you get started? Well, what have you done to kind of improve your public image or make sure that if people look for you, it looks good?
Well, I think it's a really important thing that a lot of people don't really consider. When you're starting to maybe sell insurance, you're thinking about, how do I memorize my phone scripts? How do I learn the different insurance companies? How do I, start dialing and book appointments? And you don't really maybe realize what your image actually could be, to a prospective client or to a prospective agent that maybe is looking to join your team. And I think the first thing is we all have, or most people have, some basic social media things like Facebook and Instagram. Those are probably the two most universal, sites, platforms that people are on. And so, the first thing, and we were talking about this, Ryan, is, what does your Facebook look like? If someone was to Google your name, and that's what you should do, you should Google your own name and see what pops up. If you Google my name, you're going to see my Facebook, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, you're going to see my careers page. And you want to make sure that image that you have is going to provide a clear message for what you want to provide to people. You want people to understand that you're a professional. You want them to understand that you are someone who's, licensed through the state. You want them to understand that you're someone who appears very neutral on topics. This is a very important thing, especially on Facebook, because people, I know you can adjust your settings and you can make stuff private, but nothing is really private if it goes on Facebook. You want to make sure that you're not going on there and having some big rant about your opinion, whether, whatever side it is, because when you're in sales, you need to be able to communicate and connect to a wide audience. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. It doesn't matter where they stand on different issues. You need to be able to connect to everybody, because you could allow some strong opinion that you have that you're totally entitled to, and you can absolutely discuss it with your friends and family behind closed doors, but out in the world could affect your business. So think like a business owner and be attractive to everybody.
Man, it's such a great point. And I want to make this clear, before Ashton kind of jumps in and talks about the things that he's done, because I know Ashton's branded himself really well in the public eye and is in a lot of insurance groups and represents himself really well. But like that point that you just made, we're not saying that you shouldn't have opinions. We're not saying that you shouldn't be passionate about political issues or passionate about religion, or something like that. It's more like I go to somebody's Facebook page that I know is in the industry, and they're just like, these piece of Democrat, and then they're like, I wonder why nobody's buying from me. These clients are all broke. It's like, nah, man, they just viewed you and they don't want to work with you. Right? They just saw your opinions and they were just like, who the hell would ever want to trust this guy with my future and my family's security? Like, nobody wants to work with you if you do that. If you're throwing opinions out there like the evil Democrats and the Republicans are bankrupting our country and they're fascists, well, guess what? 50% of the country disagrees with you. if you're putting stuff out there like, oh, the evil Democrats or the Republicans are fascists and they're bankrupting our country, or this president did this, or like they're taking over, like, well, keep in mind 50% of the country doesn't agree with you. If you're trying to grow an agency, you're trying to help families, you're trying to cast a wide net, you can't do things that cut off 50% of your potential client base or your potential agent base. And are you presenting yourself as someone that's fun to work with, as somebody who's reasonable, as someone who's balanced and easy to follow? And but Ashton, what have you been doing, man? You've done a lot to boost your public image, man, and your reputation is stellar online.
I think the first key piece is just, how do you want to be perceived? And are you okay with that? And the biggest piece there, whether you're attracting clients, whether you're attracting agents, that's the number one thing. So for me, I have zero issue that, my background is a bachelor's in pastoral ministry, getting master divinity. Like I have zero issue at all of that being any and everywhere. And if, for me, especially on a hiring side, if someone goes, hey, I don't want to work with someone that's their background, well, great. I probably just wouldn't have talked to you in the first place because you would have never applied to my job ad. You would have, or when you came to my job interview, you would have left real quick. You know, I don't want to work with someone that doesn't want to work with me and who I am to the core of me, on a hiring side. It's just not going to work out. It doesn't mean that my company I work for, whatever insurance agency, brokerage, captive play, it doesn't mean that it's not a great place to work. But with me as their, if we do very, very, typical corporate world language, me as their manager, me as their boss, that might not be a great fit. But just because they're not a fit for the McDonald's on First Street doesn't mean the McDonald's on 7th Street doesn't have a better, fit for them in terms of management style or personality, etc. So when I'm posting those things online, whatever it is, personal life, etc., like that's what I'm attracting to. And I've had many people reach out to me just simply because they go, hey, we see you're someone who's successful in business and you're extremely similar to me, extremely similar to the type of person that I want to work for in business, someone who is a Christian or someone, whatever the case is. And there's a lot of that I do attract. And there's a lot of the people that it's the opposite, but I'm okay with not attracting the opposite. If someone goes, hey, I don't want to work with you because of that doesn't hurt my feelings. So if you're going to post things on social media, you have to be okay with the adverse as well as what you're putting out.
Well, I think there's a big gap here too. That's like when you're representing yourself in the public eye, you're not saying I don't work with Muslims.
Yeah.
Right? You're not saying like Muslims and Jews are bad.
Yeah.
You're just like, hey, this is my faith, and I help a lot of people, and I'm here to help you, and like it's not exclusionary. And so we need to be careful with the language that we're putting out there. Are we leading with a language of exclusion, like X people are bad, or are we leading with this is what I believe, right? And I think everybody is well developed enough to kind of know what the difference is between there. But if you
Absolutely.
don't know what the difference is, probably ask for some help, get some opinions from somebody who thinks a little bit different than you about how you're representing yourself online. I think it's really important, like men in particular. You may be single and you may have a public profile that is looking for love, let's say, right? That's maybe you have some pictures that if you were going in for a job interview and they were pulling up your social media, you may not want to have on there. Well, guess what? Like the clients that are researching you are seeing those pictures too. Women, like you may have some pictures that are the same way, right? That maybe you're not dressed in the way that you would hope that if you went to a job interview, the CEO of the company would be looking at your social media profile and go like, whoa, I don't know, we're going to have some HR violations here. Your clients are seeing that, right? Like the people that you book meetings with, especially like think about it like this, like you're booking a meeting with a family, with a husband and wife or something like that. And they go, oh, we're inviting this into our house or we're inviting this online. you may not be the type of person that they want to work with. If they can't find you, or if what they find looks bad, you're going to have a tough time recruiting people. You're going to have a tough time getting clients to show up. I'll also just throw out for myself. I love what you said about how do you want to be perceived and what are you going for? So if you like, for me, I focused on a lot of advanced markets. Well, I want to make sure that when somebody is looking at my LinkedIn profile, or if somebody's looking at one of the websites that I have set up or something like that, that they're viewing me as an expert. They see my licenses, they see my education, they look at my background, they see reviews of clients who've worked with me, they see credibility. And this stuff is really easy to set up. Every one of you can get a Google My Business page, right? You can send it right to your address, and you can talk to your friends and family and say, hey, leave a review on my Google page. Every client that you meet with, you can go, hey, if you enjoyed your experience with me, can you leave a review on my Google page? And you'll get a lot of clients that appreciate the help that you've given them. And all of a sudden you've got 50 or 60 reviews. And now when people Google you, or when people search for your name on social media, guess what pops up? A great reputation, somebody that they want to work with. Probably get more people showing up for your appointments too. So let's start with, we'll go the other way. Ashton, have you done anything like that as far as like public, like Google pages or business pages, or anything like that? And what was your experience with it?
Yeah, I've done some. Like Google My Business is the easiest. I think it's renamed now. However, it's great to go, and obviously, I mean, I feel like it's probably without saying, but in case it isn't, send the review link to the people that had a great experience with you. Not
Yeah.
the guy that maybe cussed
Got
you out
declined.
during your appointment.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're a loser. Don't be like, hey, I'd love for you to leave a review on my website. Like, don't do that. But those ones that you have that great rapport with, oh my God, I'm so thankful you helped me. Absolutely. Go send them a link and let them have those client testimonials. It definitely doesn't hurt. Now, is it anything that you're going to see an immediate, oh my goodness, I'm putting all this in, and next week you have 34 people that call you? No. But it's something that builds over time, and it gives you a really great reputation, especially over time. And I've had people reach out to me, go, hey, yeah, I was Googling insurance, places get insurance in this area, and you were one of the businesses that came up. You had a lot of reviews, definitely way more than anyone else. I think we have like 50 reviews. It's nothing crazy, but definitely way more than anyone else. And all of them were positive, and all of them are 5 stars review, except one, which is a 4-star.
Oh,
like,
who gave you a 4-star?
I know. I was like, yeah, great appointment. Everything was great.
Unbelievable.
That was the review. I was like, everything was great. Loved Ashton. It was awesome. And it was 4 stars.
Those people that don't believe in giving 5 stars. There's always room for improvement.
It had to be free. Otherwise, it was 4 stars,
Well, I think Ashton, like, and just to be clear about something that I said earlier, and the point that Ashton's making, like, you can have your friends and family leave reviews. You don't have to have them lie about like buying insurance from you. You can just say, Ashton's a trustworthy person, right? Ashton's really easy to talk to. Like, just leave a review about you as a human being on your Google My Business page and start your 5-star reviews so that people can find you. But make sure that you have all the information filled out. Make sure that you have, like, if you have a web page, or if you have a LinkedIn page, you can put that in as your website, or that you link some social media for your agency. You can set up a free agency Facebook page, or something like that. That you have other ways for people to find you. The photos are filled out. Like, it doesn't look like a dead page. And most importantly, that your phone number's on there. So if people, people are looking for you, they can call you, and you can start getting referrals from it, which is cool.
So I mean, first of all, just to kind of maybe close the chapter on the personal side, because I think we kind of talked a lot about like sort of what not to do. And I think one of the things that I want to make sure people, take away from this is like, posting is positive in general. Having a presence is general. Knowing that like other people being able to see that you like to do fun stuff, you like to go on vacations, you have hobbies and interests, that's a relatability tool, because you want to connect with people. You don't want to drive a divide by picking some stance that you have and then alienating 50% of your audience, but you do want to show those interests that you have, like Ashton mentioned that he's, letting people know that he does. And so that's a positive thing. Just like, sometimes people think think like, oh, if I have a kid that's maybe crying in the background, or I've got a dog that barks, that might come off as unprofessional. And it's like, well, actually, that can be a point of building a relationship, because your clients are people who are sitting in their home just like you are, and you're running your business from home, and you can relate that together. So I would say on the personal side, just to kind of close the chapter on that, don't be afraid to post. Just make sure that you're being yourself, you're being you, but you are kind of having that sort of filter of, if I was, someone looking at my profile, what do I want them to take away from it after looking through it? Because like you mentioned, every employer these days is looking at your social media. If you go to job interviews, they are all starting with, let's go ahead and see what, Ryan Federico says. Okay. Oh, wow. I don't know if I want that kind of opinion in my company, right? So you want to be careful there. But as you transition into the business side of things, so if you Google the Libra agency, you're going to see 35 5-star reviews. How did I get those reviews? Well, I first of all asked some friends and family to go on there and leave a review to get it started. And then I've just started to kind of ask clients. And I'll be honest, I've been pretty bad at this. I should have like 3,400 5-star reviews, not 34. But like, if you start asking your clients, after you do a good job for them, hey, listen, as part of asking for referrals, hey, it would really mean a lot to me. I appreciate you let me, help your family. Would you mind if I sent you a link to just go on there and write a little review about how I helped you? You can actually go on, and there was a client whose husband passed away. I was able to help her get a death claim. She wrote this long, really nice story about how I spent a few months really fighting for her to get that check. And, we were able to get her taken care of. That is something that I'm obviously very proud of, but that's something where other clients can look at and go, okay, this guy obviously takes care of people the right way. I can trust him to take care of my family. So when we start on kind of the business side of things, I do have a business Facebook page. That's something I definitely encourage everyone to do. Having some consistent posting on there, setting up. Also, I have a business LinkedIn page, and then I do have a website. And so just having a couple of these basic things, that you have as points of credibility, where if somebody wants to say to you, hey, do you have a website I could look like? Yeah, absolutely. Go to the libraagency.com. And one of the things that's so awesome about our company is we have a website in a box that you can pay, $40 a month for, and they'll set you up with every single thing you need to have a professional website. You don't have to go manage it and host it yourself and try and build it and all that. So I think it's really important to have, kind of that business presence, because we are business owners here. Most people, like our audience here, you're self-employed insurance salespeople. And that means that you need to have your own business presence, and making sure you have some business pages. And even if maybe you're not like an agency owner, you can still designate a business page as, your agency, whatever you'd like to name it.
Yeah, and listen, there's a lot of resources that are out there. It's becoming easier and easier and easier to get a public presence, even if you're not super technologically advanced and you think that maybe you're a little bit old school. It's becoming easier and easier to get these tools. As Graham mentioned, we have an amazing opportunity within our company where it automatically creates a landing page for you with branded emails and virtual business cards and booking calendars and like really, really cool stuff that is really cheap, and they set it up for you. But there's a couple other resources, and just to be clear, we're not sponsored by either of these two things that I'm going to share. We think that they're great and they're awesome. We'll link their links down in the description of this video. One of them comes from our friend Javon Spencer, who developed a platform called Advisor Verified, which is amazing. And Advisor Verified is sort of like the LinkedIn for insurance agents, or the Yelp for insurance agents, or something like that, where it talks about the companies that you're appointed with, and you have customer reviews and ratings, and you have a little bio about yourself, and you can put videos in there, and it's super cheap. And it's really a great platform. Highly suggest that if you're looking for some place to start, Advisor Verified is about as turnkey as you could make it. That's amazing. There's another platform that's actually by a company called Jumpstart Go that give a shout out. Really, really big in the insurance industry in different verticals like property and casualty and Medicare. But Jumpstart Go has a platform called the $0 lead system, basically, and it's all a class essentially, and multiple masterminds about how to brand yourself online, and how to generate referrals online, and how to be a resource in groups, and how to the back balance of posting personal content and business content. And I think it's like $50 or something like that a month, and you get multiple interactive masterminds. And so we'll link both of those down there. But there's a lot of resources where you can just start and you can develop a public reputation. And I think Ashton, you've done a lot of this on the recruiting side, and that's where I think we can just, our last thoughts is like on the agency side. You're really great at you're in all of the insurance groups on Facebook. You're talking to people, you're answering comments, you're active. But when people click on the link, or when people click on your profile, or when people are like, who's this Ashton guy, they see leaderboards and success and people making money, and they see your lifestyle, and they see flexibility, and they see the selling points of why to work with you. And it's just been an amazing tool for you. So what are you looking for, like when you're branding yourself as an agency, as an attractive place for agents to come?
Yeah, absolutely. And those two resources are great. I mean, Javon is great. David and Ellie Denning are great. Both of those programs are amazing. But and it really just comes back to what we said in the beginning, which was simply, hey, you want to put content out there of how you want to be viewed. And it's the same thing here. When I'm in those groups, I'm interacting exactly how I want to be seen. I'm going in there, and I mean, the easiest rule of thumb is whenever you make any form of a comment or post, let it be a positive comment or post. If I'm going in there and it's negative, well, I have a chance that I might not be perceived in the best light. Whether I'm talking something or someone down, even if it may be correct, it might not come across the best. And so on Facebook, having exactly what I want on there, of seeing, hey, here are people that are having success, especially as when growing a team. Here are people within the team having success, not only just, hey, people in the company, but more importantly, the exact team. I've had many people reach out to me, especially on social media, that go, hey, I started looking into the company you work at, and I was like, man, what are the best agencies to be a part of? Where are the people that are having success? And then I found, hey, your group is one of the more successful ones. We've seen a lot of stories of people. I went on your page and saw a lot of different people having success that are in your agency. So now they're seeing not only me successful, but people I've worked with successful. And we can list a bunch of names. And that's why a lot of people reach out as a mentor. And the other side, as just a producer, is, hey, if you're crushing it as a producer, go, hey, you're really good at this. I'm not. Can I work with you and maybe learn a thing or two by watching you? And that's how the top performer on my team has gotten a lot of agents. Not even that were in other companies, people that were just looking at the company for the first time, looking at the industry for the first time, and then they just found someone who's extremely successful, doing six figures every single month. Like, man, well, if I'm going to do this, I want to be on that guy's team because he has a lot of success. And it's the same thing for anyone to go, hey, if I'm like Grant, who's out there doing 30, 40 grand a month by himself on top of managing a team. It's like, man, well, that's attractive because a lot of people aren't doing that. So having that presence there on the posting side, as well as in the groups, just providing solid content and asking great questions that evokes a lot of people to reach out to you.
Yeah, you're attractive, and it's like, I think it's, there was we've talked about this on one of our podcasts before, but there was I think it was Harvard that did this study, and it might've been combined with another college, or university, where they did this study that only 8% of job satisfaction is the money that you make. And like 92% of your job satisfaction is the company that you like, the environment that you work in, the people that you work with, right? And so when most people are looking for a position, they're looking for culture, they're looking for attraction, they're looking for, is this fun? Are people successful? Are people making money? Or is this going to be a depressing place? And if all your social media is just like depressing, bland, like not celebratory and not like recognizing people, like people love recognition. And so like if you're prospectively, looking at agents, or agents are prospectively looking at you to join your team, what are they seeing? Like, are they seeing success? Are they seeing fun? Are they seeing jokes? Are they seeing people smiling? Like, or are they seeing, kind of sad, bland content, or nothing at all, which they will just assume is sad, bland content, right? So, how are you perceived when you're recruiting people, Grant? What do you think?
Final thoughts would be just start with looking at, what is my profile if I am someone outside looking in, and how can I make just a little bit of changes to be maybe a little bit more cognizant of what I'm posting, how people are going to interpret it, and who I'm really looking to attract. And as you start doing that, you're going to find that we are all naturally attractive in our own way. And you just got to be you, but be the smart version of you when you're putting yourself in a public light, because we all know how you could get on TMZ, if you're a celebrity and you just do something that was well intentioned and it can be totally misinterpreted. So it's kind of the same thing in our business on a small scale. So that's it, buddy.
Man, I agree 100%. Go through any social media profiles you have, even that old Pinterest board that you forgot about, that you put a bunch of pictures of the guys from Twilight with no shirts on, if it looks like my Pinterest board. And, like, just be like, look at what's out there about you right now. Like, how are you presenting yourself? Delete some old pictures that you probably shouldn't be up there. Put some new pictures up there that paint you in a different light. Maybe delete some of your posts that maybe you don't really want the public to be looking at if they're searching for you, and just make sure that put yourself in your client's shoes. Make sure that if you're them and you're looking, into who you're about to be meeting with, that you're somebody that they look forward to showing up and meeting, and you're not somebody that with some question marks where they're like, oh, I don't know if I want to meet with this person. So those links are going to be in the description. Keep coming back here for more amazing content. We're going to keep firing off all of the topics that you guys are giving us. If you want to throw some comments as to what you want to hear next, we're always looking at the comments, and we'll be happy to make some content that helps you guys out even more. Like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the little bell so that you get notified whenever we throw a new episode out. We'll come back to you guys later. See you, everybody.